When things are not going well, there is this tendency of the mind to search for answers. But you see, the very search, the very seeking for answers to soothe oneself is the mechanism of the mind to distract from the pain that underlies the question, that underlies the discomfort. Because we never question as to where the questions arise from, where this seeking comes from. We want answers, we want fixes, and there are a lot of temporary fixes in life. There are a lot of distractions, substances, indulgences, and so on. Now we don't see this from the perspective of right or wrong. Sometimes one will indulge because that's the way body operates. When the emotional disturbance is too strong, it is the reaction of the body to engage in something to distract. But at some point, when one simply allows things to be the way they are, allowing that witnessing presence to emerge, we say emerge, but it is always there. It is the substratum. When we allow that, then there is no resistance to what shows up because everything is accepted the way it is. We do not distract ourselves, we simply observe what is happening. And in that observation, there is no judgment, there is no reaction, there is no opposition to what is being presented or the way it is being presented. Everything is allowed to flow in its natural order. And that is the very key to the understanding, to the insight. And the insight is that there is no separate observer. There is only the observed. And the closure of this gap between the observer and the observed is the end of suffering or end of seeking. So Ramana Maharishi said that if you question who is this I that claims to be the observer, when you fixate attention on this I, what you see that it is really not there. Because when inverted on itself, it cannot stand by itself. It merges back into the source. But when allowed to flow as the observer, as the one separate from the rest, it creates the subject-object relationship. So it sees itself as the subject, as the main central subject, and other things as the object. And there is always a separation, and this separation causes suffering. The more I wants to expand as the thinking mind, the me mind, the more it suffers. Either it is lost in the dead past, or it is lost in a future fantasy, avoiding what is here and now. So, a simple remembrance to bring the attention back to this moment or now That is the only thing which has been told by every master, that bring your attention to this I. The light of the source illumines the I. The flow of I creates phenomenality or life, as we know. We are not trying to vigilantly monitor the I. We are not trying to stop or control the movement of I. We simply bring our attention back to here and now, or the I, as and when the remembrance comes. And slowly we recognize the illusion. Slowly we recognize that all movement is an illusion. And stillness is the only reality. Stillness is the substratum that makes all the movement possible. But when the attention is totally on the movement, that is when there is complete identification with thinking, thinking as a separate entity in manifestation with name and form, then everything appears to be fragmented. Life appears to be broken, meaningless, and there is no peace. And separation by nature is unhappiness. When the attention comes back to this moment or now, that is our place of rest. Because nothing ever happens in the now. Now is free from all phenomenality. Yet it is the one which gives rise to everything. All past, present, future are happening in the now. We call it now, but it is free of time because it illumines the space, time, and causation. It is the light, light of the source. It is primordial. It is consciousness. It is the pure awareness. It is Brahman. That is what you are. The only problem is that we get identified with this and that, with the content. Whereas the content is also not separate from the consciousness that we are. But we get carried away in thinking as a separate person. Our sense of individuality is so strong that it creates bondage. Because when I believe that I am limited to the mind and body, I create foundations for myself. I believe that I cannot be happy unless and until my needs are met. Yet it will never be the case in your entire life that all of your needs will ever be met. If you're looking for that ideal moment, if you're looking for that ideal life where all your needs are met, where things are in perfect harmony, where relationships are perfect, where there is no financial turmoil, you are living in an illusion. You are living with a fantasy. There is no such thing as perfect relationships, as perfect life, but there is such a thing as harmonious relationships and harmonious life. And in that harmony, ups and downs of life are accepted. the way they are. The upflow and the downflow of everything is accepted.